Are you the hunter?
Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So we're back with a Kai'Sa updated complete guide, and we're finally back with the daily content. Now that I've basically almost fully recovered from my cough and sore throat, now we can get back to the daily content, which I have a huge backlog of after that whole debacle. So the gameplay from today is actually from patch 3.1, not 3.1a, but it doesn't really matter because Kai'Sa wasn't changed in 3.1a, and neither was any of the champions in the gameplay except for Olaf, who did get a minor nerf, but that's not too important. Now, Kai'Sa is the ADC who I believe is the best in the meta at the moment. She is really strong, and she does make pretty good use of stormraizer with basically a new full crit build. Now, as usual for our updated complete guides, I will be putting the link for the original complete guide in the description below, as well as in the cards above to refer to for the skills and the leveling order. So, we're just gonna go straight into the build and not waste any time about it. So here is Kai'Sa's new build. So there are two versions of the build, but I'm gonna show you guys the one I prefer first, then we'll go over the alternative build. So this is Kai'Sa's new starting build. So you first go for BF Sword, Executioner's Calling, and Longsword as usual. This will get you your Q evolve. Then you finish up building the stormraizer, building off that BF Sword, and then you build the entire Runan's Hurricane. Now, you don't actually have to rush Recurve Bow anymore, because getting Recurve Bow doesn't get you your E evolve. You only get E evolve when you get Runan's Hurricane. So, of course, you go for boots whenever you want to, and in this case, because you don't have Blade of the Rune King anymore, and you only have Hunter Vampirism for lifesteal, for the boots, you can actually go for Gluttonous Greaves if you want. If not, of course, we have the two defensive options. And for the enchant, obviously, we go for Stasis majority of the time. QSS is an option as well. So, this will be your final build. So, of course, we already have the Stormraizer and the Runan's Hurricane from before. Next, you go for the Infinity Edge. And then you complete the Moral Reminder, which builds out of the Executioner's Calling, which we already have. And then you finish up with a Guardian Angel. So now when your Guardian Angel is down, you actually have quite a host of options, because you have 3 crit items here already. You only have 1 energized item, and you can basically swap out your Guardian Angel for another 3rd crit item to get 100% crit. There are a ton of options. Now obviously you have Bloodthirster, which I don't fully recommend, because it's not the lifesteal. It is useful, but you kind of want more attack speed mostly. So you could go for an energized item like Static Shift or Rapid Fire Cannon. Personally, I think Rapid Fire Cannon is way better because you have the safety, and also when you hit someone with an auto, you can actually get the proc of your passive to allow you to ult them if you want to. So I do think Rapid Fire Cannon is a very good last item option. Aside from that, of course, you have the defensive options like Wit's End, like Maw of Marmordius if you need to. Of course, Wit's End is better for Kai'Sa, Maw is just not as good. And then you also have another crit option, which is the Slurry Charge Blade. Now, I always think Slurry Charge Blade is still a very good item, just that you need to build it like as your 3rd or 4th crit item nowadays. If not, it doesn't really do that much damage. So as your last crit item, it's still really good. But of course, I personally like to go for GA. I only change it out if GA is down. So this is basically Kai'Sa's new build. Obviously, Stormraizer is just OP at the moment. You go for it for, of course, all the stats, and the slow is useful as well. Runan's Hurricane, because obviously I've always built this, not everybody has, because some people gone for the Slurry Charge Blade. But you have, of course, the huge attack speed and crit, as well as the Wind's Fury, which allows you to hit 3 people with your passive and in each auto attack, which is really, really helpful. And Infinity Edge, obviously, because of the additional crit damage and the AD as well. Now, the alternative build for this is basically swapping these 2 items around in the final build. But this affects the start of game build by a lot. So basically what you will end up going for is something like this. You go for... Actually, let me just use the... let me not use the AP one. Okay, so basically, you go for something like this. So you go for double BF Sword. Then you complete the Stormraizer. And then you complete the Infinity Edge. And then, of course, you go for Runan's Hurricane as usual. So now, obviously, Stormraizer builds out of the first BF sword, and the IE builds out of the second BF sword. So the two BF swords will give you your Q evolve, but you will only get your E evolve after you complete the Runan's Hurricane. So now the reason I don't really like this build is simply because I feel that getting the E evolve earlier is more important than just getting so much raw damage. Now obviously we know that in the current meta, Stormraizer into IE is pretty much the go-to combo at the moment, but I think that on Kai'Sa, honestly, I feel that going for that combo doesn't really make as much sense as other ADCs, because I feel like going this path is better. But of course it is a personal preference kind of thing, whichever one you guys prefer. I'll probably do a video covering the other one, which is the double BF sword start, but for this game we're going for this build. So now we're going to move on to talking about the runes and the spells. Now it's pretty basic here. For the runes you want to take Conqueror, obviously, because it's the best, simply just the best rune, and there's pretty much no other rune option for Kai'Sa that is even anywhere remotely close. Then obviously you want Hunter Vampirism, because that's your only source of lifesteal if you don't get the Gluttonous Greaves. So Hunter Vampirism is always the way to go. For the second one, it is sort of a choice between Hunter Titan, Bone Plating, and Adaptive Carapace. As usual, it always depends on the match and depends on which one you want. But in general, Hunter Titan is generally the best because there's going to be CC in almost every match. For the last one, I'm not too high on Sweet Tooth anymore as usual. So going for Hunter Genius, helps you a lot because it does give you your cooldowns faster. And Kai'Sa is a mostly caster ADC. Of course, later on into the game, her auto attacks get stronger and stronger, but her spells do a lot of damage as well, especially in the earlier stages of the game. So really useful to have that Hunter Genius. So for the spells, you take Flash and Exhaust. Now, of course, the other option is to take Barrier, but now I just think that Exhaust is in general better because there are so many good Exhaust targets in the meta, so many Assassins and backline divers, that Exhaust generally is needed every single match. So now with all that out of the way, we can move straight on to the gameplay. Alright, so here we have the gameplay. Now, as usual, when we get to this point in the updated complete guide, it's just a reminder to, of course, like, comment, and subscribe if you guys like what you guys are seeing, and also to, of course, leave any questions in the comments because I will address them, or any remarks or anything like that. So, we're rocking the, well, it's not new, but we just recently finally bought it, but we're rocking the, Lagoon Dragon Kai'Sa. Finally got a Kai'Sa skin. Now, Kai'Sa is my most played champion of all time, and not really my favorite, but my favorite is Lucian and Jhin, but she is my most played champion of all time and highest champion mastery on her, etc, etc. But yeah, so I surprisingly didn't actually have a skin for Kai'Sa. I got skins for like Lucian and Jhin, but I don't really have a skin for Kai'Sa. And I finally decided to go, or rather I didn't go and get one, but my friend actually got one for me for my birthday, which just passed last month. So anyways, here we're against a Jhin and a Rakan. Now this is actually a pretty scary lane because I'm Kai'Sa, my early game not too strong. Jin's early game is really strong, and Rakan obviously has a huge engage, which Jhin can take advantage of to chain CC with his W and pretty much get a couple of free auto attacks on me, which I of course don't really want. So, but however, we are doing a relatively good job of just chunking them out. Like, I'm auto attacking Rakan so much. And here I'm behind the minions just trying to attack Jhin and Rakan. And surprisingly, somehow we're actually winning the trade. Like, I have no idea what these two are doing, but they should be winning the trades against me in the early game. Here I'm just trying to cancel Rakan's back, and I do so with Void Seeker. And we're just being a general nuisance to them. So here, we flash in for the kill because Katarina did make the roam down. Now, I got to be honest with you guys, in this match, we sort of got carried by the Katarina a little bit, especially in the earlier stages of the game. Like over there, without Katarina's help, we wouldn't have gotten those 2 kills, and we wouldn't have been able to start the snowball. But Katarina, really good roam on her part. She did die for it, but overall it's a 2-for-1, so probably definitely not the worst trade in the world. So that was a really good roam by Katarina, recognizing that we had so much pressure on them. We had a wave to dive on, but she went in a little bit too early. We could have pushed in the wave and it would have been a little bit better, but it is what it is, and it went out pretty fine for our team overall. Jhin 4th shots the minion, so I'm safe from taking that huge burst of damage. And I'm just gonna go back, take a little bit of the fruit. Nami is sharing some with the Nami, of course. And Jin is pretty far up, so he eats an entire Q. I get hit by the edge of the Rakan grand entrance. Now Rakan's grand entrance is really hard to dodge if you don't have a dash. Like on Lucian I can dodge it pretty easily, but on something like a Kai'Sa I can't dodge it unless I hit my E when he uses it. So here I out a little bit for the shield as well as to get in range of the Rammus, and I managed to Katarina I managed to pick up a triple kill, I should say, and I barely survived thanks to Nami's heal. So really good start. Katarina with another beautiful roam to counter gank the Rammus. Rammus came in for the Nami, but Nami managed to flash out of the way and Rammus got nothing. Katarina gets a triple kill, and honestly at this point Katarina is 4-1-1. Like at this point, what can the enemy team really do? Katarina is so fed, and she's gonna be a huge problem for the enemy team, especially because the enemy team doesn't have very easy CC to hit on her. Like Ahri's charm needs to be Ahri charm, like Jin W all needs to be aimed. Rakan probably has the best chance of landing the CC on her with her his ult or his grand entrance, but even those aren't point and click. Rammus, same story, he has to run into her, which might not always be that easy, so they can't really stop Katarina extremely easily, so Katarina probably can take over the game. But regardless, back to talking about Kai'Sa, we back and get our Q evolve, of course, off that triple kill from Katarina. So we do have the Q evolve now, which basically allows us to almost instantly clear the wave. This gives us the priority, of course, with the dragon basically up and available. However, our kill is dead. The kill is the jungle, by the way. Yeah, so we got a kill jungle, which it isn't really what we want, but don't really have a choice in the matter. So here we're pretty much, we of course want to go for dragon. It's Infernal Dragon as well, everybody's favorite dragon, not mine though. But here I'm just gonna instantly clear the wave with my Q like that, and yeah, you guys can see when Kai'Sa gets her evolve, she clears instantly. So here the Kayle is ready to take the dragon. Jin and Rakan are hovering around the area, but we can see that some members of the enemy team are at the top, particularly Olaf. Ahri is coming down for the roam. Here, I ult over to get the finish kill onto Jin. Katarina finishes off Rakan. Ahri stuck in a hard place, and Kayle actually ults me to save me. I'm not too sure if I needed it, but I really appreciate the Kayle using her ult on me. Not every Kayle does that. Some Kayles only save ult from themselves, especially of course those selfish ones, but she did pop the ult on me to guarantee that I get out alive. So really nice one by the Kayle. So here, obviously we can't exactly fight for the dragon because we've been pretty chunked, so our team is just going to recall and back, get ourselves the health and the items as well. I managed to finish off my stormraizer, which of course is another huge item power spike for me, and we're headed towards the dragon. Kayle picking up the red buff along the way. Katarina is resetting, and the enemy team is posturing towards the dragon. 3 of them are there already, Olaf and the bot lane, whereas Rammus and Ahri are making their way down there. So the entire enemy team is now on the dragon. We're not really in a position to contest as of yet, so I'm just going to be taking the wave. No time wasted, no point walking around the dragon area doing nothing. But here my team goes in, so I'm kind of following up. Kayle manages to steal the dragon somehow, flashing in, so I get the kill onto Ahri, and we're in for the chase on the lot of them. So here in comes Rammus. I'm chasing after Rakan and Jin. I get the kill on Rakan. Katarina gets the kill onto Jin, and Katarina is unstoppable. And at this point in time, we have a fed Kai'Sa, we have a fed Katarina. Basically, the enemy team cannot really do too much at this point. So it's a really kind of snowbally, stompy kind of game. 8k goal lead at 6 minutes something. Enemy team not in good shape in the slightest. So here, it kind of just shows how strong Kai'Sa is when she gets a couple of kills at the start of the game now. Of course, we just got 1 kill and 1 assist from Katarina at the start, but that really started the snowball of getting our Q evolved. The Q evolves continued the snowball of getting more kills, which of course continued the snowball of getting more items, which of course led to even more kills. So really, this all began off that Katarina roam from mid. So really shows how important the mid laner is in this entire equation. Here, my team fighting over the Rift Herald. I'm just popping over to get myself an assist. Rakan hits the Grand Entrance, but it doesn't really matter. We're just going to clear up the mid lane. Can force down the mid lane tower, probably. If not, Rift Herald is an option as well. Katarina goes in deep, and I decide to back her up. I follow with my ultimate, and she does finish off the kill. Minions run out, so I end up tanking 2 tower shots. So here, just going the long way around to hit back over to bot lane where there is a wave. On the way, picking up the honey fruit just in case, you know, any shenanigans happens in the bot lane. Always better to have more health than less health, I always say. So here, we are going to, of course, just clear up the bot lane. Of course, as an ADC in particular, but whichever role you're playing, you never want to waste farm in any lane. So you always want to hit back to the lane to obviously take the farm when you can. Obviously not sacrificing the team fights for that or anything, but you know, if there's nothing to do on the map, go back and take the waves. So here I'm also going to be taking the Krugs. Nothing too much is happening. Rakan goes in on my team actually, so I'm kiting the Krugs toward mid lane, and I'm going to mid lane to back up my team. So we do get the mid lane tower, and we summon the Rift Herald to, of course, go for the tier 2 in mid. Rammus looks like he's going in, decides the better of it, and rolls himself back out. So here Rift Herald is going to be crashing. We can take advantage of that by forcing down the second tier tower. Charm by Ahri connects onto the Jace, but doesn't really matter. Nami bubble lands on Jhin, and Jhin gets instantly bursted by our entire team. Kill probably ulted the wrong person there. Not too sure who was she intending to out. Probably Katarina, but she outs the Nami by accident. But oh well, not too important at this point. So here, we're just we got the Gluttonous Griefs already, so we're gonna have some lifesteal. I think I'm waiting around to pick up an item. There we go, Runan's Hurricane acquired as well. So 2 item power spike in the bag. So here we got the E evolve, of course, after getting the Runan's Hurricane, and now we can go over to taking the red buff. Now E evolve, in my opinion, really important. The invisibility makes Kai'Sa so annoying to deal with. Like the E evolve is so important. I think that it should be prioritized over just raw damage. But of course, there is an argument for going for raw damage as well, because obviously you can snowball even harder. But you know, we'll see how it goes. So here the next dragon is spawning. The enemy bot lane is recalling, but Katarina is having none of it. She's just going for the enemy Jhin. So Rammus and Ahri around the area. Rammus eats an entire Q. Ahri whiffs the charm. Nice knockup by Nami. And here I go, getting the kill as well as another one. Katarina picks up a double. Actually, I only pick up one. Katarina picks up a double, and I get the double buffs. So here Mountain Dragon is spawning. It's a pretty much free Mountain Dragon for us. Honestly, at this point in time, the game is pretty much won unless we massively just choke or just throw the game, you know, doing something stupid. But basically at this point, I'm 6-0 and 9. Katarina 10-1 and 5. Nami 0-0 and 15. Now Kayle, she has no kills, but only has 1 death and has 12 assists. So she's scaling. She is our late game insurance. Jay's not doing too hot, but doesn't really matter because the rest of us are all just taking over the game. So here nothing too much is happening. So we're just gonna push down the second tier tower in the bot lane. Now here we see Rammus, Olaf, and Ahri actually going over to the top lane, and actually does manage to pick up the shutdown onto Katarina, but the shutdown goes onto Rammus, which is definitely the least important target to take that shutdown. So really unfortunate for the enemy team. The huge shutdown, like probably about almost 1,000 gold, goes over to Rammus, their tank. So here, you know, they get caught out. They probably used a lot to kill Katarina, so in I go for the double kill. Here I exhaust the Olaf so he can't escape, and we pick up the kill onto Olaf as well. Now Rammus and Jhin are in the area, but obviously they don't want to be messing with us. So we're just going to head over, I believe, to the Rift Herald and take the Rift Herald. Yep, there we go. I'm going for the Rift Herald. Now I have to say that this new crit Kai'Sa build does a lot of damage. Obviously doing a lot more damage than the Blade of the Rune King build, which obviously gives you a lot less AD and doesn't actually give any crit. So the new crit build gives her a lot more damage. Like, she is so bursty now. But of course her sustain is greatly impacted because she doesn't have the lifesteal from the Blade of the Rune King anymore. But you know, we have the Gluttonous Greaves, and we do have the Hunter of Vampirism, so still got decent amount of life still in there. So here we're just going to take the red buff yet again, of course. There is a 3-man collapse onto Katarina again, where they probably used a lot to kill Katarina again. So here, me and Nami are going to collapse straight onto them. Boom, Nami ultimate into Nami bubble. We get the kill onto Rakan, we get the kill onto Jin, and we're trying to go for Rammus. Void Seeker barely misses him. We speed ourselves up using our E, and we're going to finish off Rammus for the triple kill. So really easy, really simple. We're kind of profiting off them going for Katarina. Now, here is the thing. Katarina, roam bot, got herself fed, got me fed as well. So we have 2 huge win conditions. So if Katarina dies, I can still carry the fight. If I die, Katarina can still carry the fight. So basically, unless the enemy team kills both me and Katarina, they basically have almost no shot of winning the fight with one or two fed carries on the enemy team. That being me and Katarina, of course. So here, we're gonna recall. We pick up our Infinity Edge as well as the Last Whisper. So we have all 3 crit items and almost completed the Mortal Reminder as well. So we're really, really strong at this point in time. Like basically, as long as we don't do anything stupid, you know, we're not gonna die. We're gonna obviously win the game. So here, Jin fires Curtain Call from downtown. It's a huge skirmish in the mid lane, but obviously I'm just gonna dive the back line. I'm really strong. I get a double onto the Rammus, I think, and Katarina picks up a double as well. Pretty much at this point we win the game. We can just rush down mid and end the game, and enemy team surrender. So there we have the game. Alright, so anyways guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I'll leave you guys with the stats as usual, and goodbye.